Hello, everyone. It is Mr.FalconPunch, and today we're going to start something new, kind of. If you've been around with the channel long enough, you might remember that a few years ago I had something called the Punchcast, which was my personal, very short-lived podcast. I think we only did like 3 episodes. There's probably a 4th one, but I just never bothered finishing the editing on it, and it just never got uploaded. But yeah, like before I was just recording with my friends in university. Moved away, so that wasn't possible anymore. But luckily I got one of my friends from that old podcast, Hamza, who's here with me today, and we just decided to resurrect the podcast.
Hello, yes, it is I, Hamza. I also go by Darth Messiah if you want my internet username thing. I don't have anything, no channel. I'm just borrowing Shaheen's right now to spew my propaganda. My bad.
Your propaganda, my God, excuse me.
No, because I've been watching a lot of videos. People use that word a lot, so it's in my head.
I see. And then also, real quick, before we go further in the podcast, just for the sake of my friend here, yes, I'm also known as Mr.FalconPunch, but my real name is Shaheen. So on the podcast, at least, I'll be referenced that way. Just so he doesn't, because I think in the last podcast, I'm like, no, don't say my name. And I think I had to censor it out a couple times, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean, my name is unique enough.
His own name, not to remind him, dude, you just said your own name.
Yeah. I mean, okay, also in reality, technically, Falcon and Shaheen mean the same thing. So,
so that's how you decided on your username? Okay.
Oh, yeah, see, here was the thought process behind my username. I'm like, it has to do something with Falcons, because, Shaheen means Falcon. I'm like, okay, what's a cool thing associated with a Falcon? I'm like, oh, the Captain Falcon, Falcon Punch. I'm like, perfect. Back then, the 996, because Mr. Falcon Punch was taken. I'm like, okay, 996, because that was the year I was born, 1996. But I'm like, I want them to know I'm a guy. So, Mr.
That's going to be the confusing part. Is this a guy or a girl? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's going to be
before everyone was posting their pronouns, I'm like, nah, I got you. I'm Mr. Falcon Punch.
Yeah. I tell you my gender from my title.
yeah. There you go. No confusion. I'm right there. I'm very bold about it. It's Mr. Falcon Punch to you. Yeah. Well, see, everyone calls me Falcon. That'll be interesting one day. Someone Falcon. It's Mr. Falcon Punch to you.
Oh, God. I think we called you Falcon in the old Punch. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because obviously it's also weird because I felt like I'm a superhero. So Mr. Falcon Punch 986.
I would have stopped being friends with you if you insisted. No, it's Mr. Falcon.
No, it's Mr.
Okay, you're an asshole. I'm leaving. Yeah, go find somebody else to make a podcast.
Oh, God. That would have been hilarious. Obviously, I'll never be that big enough for a fan meet and greet. But someone comes up to me, oh, Falcon, can you sign this for you? Listen, we're not that close. It's Mr.
Falcon. No, you would sign it, but you charge them for it.
Yeah.
Which some influencers do, so.
I always thought that was shitty. When I would go to a convention, not that I've been to many, but the few I've gone, it's like, oh, you have to pay to have the celebrity sign. I'm like, man, what the fuck? But then I heard for voice actors, they kind of have to do it because from the bit I remembered, it's just how they make an income because obviously they're not being paid that fairly, and I think some of them they don't even get their trip paid for. They have to come out of their own pocket.
Oh, shit, okay.
From what I've heard for certain conventions. So, it's just a way to earn some money on the side.
Okay.
Which, I guess is fine, because I always hear, anime voice actors don't get paid that well. I remember there was a case last year, someone that did a role in the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, which, earned a lot of money over here in the States. Mm-hmm. I think they were only paid, $200 for the role.
Wait, are you talking about Japanese voice actors or the dub actors?
The dub actors.
Okay, the dub actors. Okay.
I'm not sure what... I've heard the Japanese voice acting scene is a lot better in, I guess, in terms of pay and everything.
Yeah, because like
But
I'm like, okay, so the voice actors and the animators are fucked over there. Okay, jeez.
see, the thing is, I think in general, most creatives, no matter where you are in the world, are just kind of fucked over. Animators are fucked over. Musicians are fucked over. Artists are fucked over, whether like they're an actual like comic book artist, manga artist, or like video game. Oh yeah, the whole video game industry's
Oh
fucked.
yeah, yeah, like
Uh,
crunch time and like the deadlines and everything. Yeah.
yeah, comic books are kind of fucked. Manga's
Mhm.
kind of fucked. It really, I feel anything that requires a creative outlet, you're kind of fucked over. And I just realized I've been saying fucked over and over again.
It
And the
wasn't in
video,
the first 30 seconds, so you're fine.
I
Because
think some
YouTube's
people
new.
say it's like the first 10 minutes.
Oh really? Okay, because
I
I've heard
think.
only. Oh
I
okay.
oh, see. I don't know. And then like I tried doing Patreon and Kofi and all that. I think I still have Kofi links in the description box down below.
Yeah.
Um,
Please donate. He'll send you feed pics.
yeah, sure. If it gives me money,
Agreed
sure.
with that.
Dude, if it gives me money, I don't care. I mean, I don't really think my feet are that special, but sure. See my little falcon feet.
I was not
I'll even
expecting
throw my
that.
bird's feet in. I'll throw my bird's feet in too.
Oh
Um,
god. Oh just oof, okay.
yeah, she probably has nicer feet than me. Um,
She doesn't even have feet, just talons, man.
you know, that's nice too. Listen, man, I'm a big bird fan. I love bird feet.
Okay. All right.
Birds are, they're modern day dinosaurs.
Yeah, yeah. That saddens me. That's where dinosaurs have come to.
Oh man, come on.
I mean, you had like a giant T-Rex with a giant mouth, and now you have just like a chicken. Like that's all you have. Like or like if like I mean, eagles are
But they
cool,
taste
like,
good,
they do taste good, which makes me think how good the
especially
T-Rex
when you
ta-
make them dino shaped, which is kind of fucked up when you think about it. It's like I'm just gonna kill you. I'm gonna shape you to your ancestors and feed you to my offspring.
Oh God! All right, all right. Let's start the first topic.
Okay, that could have been a topic in itself.
Yeah.
All right, so we're kind of new to the podcasting scene, so we kind of scrambled together a couple topics. If you are interested, you could either put a comment down here below, or maybe send me something on Twitter for any topics or questions you have for us. Could be about most things. We're pretty open. I mean, obviously nothing too personal, but when it comes to pop culture and all that, both of us are pretty open with a lot of things, from like anime, manga, tokusatsu, comics, cartoons. Well, gaming more on my side, not so much Hamza's side. But
Yeah.
he's more open to card games. So yeah, just whatever questions you could just ask us. It might take a few episodes to get to because we're kind of like backlogging these. But yeah, just do that if you're interested. But our first comment, or first topic, uh, is something I found on Twitter, or not Twitter, Instagram. I completely forgot their user tags, so I unfortunately probably can't post them in the description box down below. But they had an interesting little topic on their on one of their stories about what manga can learn from comics, which had me thinking, because normally most of the time it's always the opposite. It's always what comics can learn from manga. Which kind of got me thinking that would be an interesting talking point, as I feel both sides in reality could learn a lot from
Yeah.
each other.
I love both mediums. I think they're probably my number one entertainment medium for a while now. Yeah, ever since I would say, I think maybe COVID, like ever since 2020, I would say they've been my number one source of entertainment. So like, yeah, I love manga, I love comic books. So I think the topic on Instagram focuses one way, but I think we're just gonna go both ways. Like, what can they learn from each other? And I think it's interesting because they both are. I love seeing the differences between them because they're both essentially the same medium, but they've grown in two completely like separate ways, and they both have their own quirks. Yeah, pun intended. Yeah, they both have their own quirks, their own idiosyncrasies, and their own trends, and their own I don't know what to call it. Cliches and everything. So It'll be interesting to see, like, the way the both industries work is also like different and like similar at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see like what we can come up with that can they can learn from each other. So yeah, good, good. Yeah.
Yeah, because like on the Instagram post, like I'm like, oh, this is like pretty interesting. Let me see what they have to say from it. And like most Instagram posts I see on the anime manga side, I'm like, oh, it looks really nice. I'm flipping through it. I'm like, I really didn't get a lot of substance out of this.
That's
The
all
only
social
two,
media for you.
yeah, I guess that's true, except for me.
No, I am great. Those other
Yeah, no,
people.
I'm great. I'm fantastic. Oh God, that reminds me. I remember there's this thing going around. People were making like these tier lists of anime YouTubers that they've heard of or watched. I mean, I was setting myself up for disappointment. I'm like, oh, what if I'm on that? And I checked, and I was not. There was another person with Falcon, being Mercury Falcon, who makes fantastic videos, and I highly recommend his channel if you haven't. But so at least there was some Falcon representation, but not of the Mr. Punch variety.
Right. See, Shaheen, this could mean that you are technically tierless. You're priceless in a way. Do you think about it like that?
Yeah, and then maybe I'm above the anime YouTuber scene. I talk about manga, tokusatsu, soon to be comics. I'm big. You can't put me in a category. I'm just that massive. Anyway, so yeah, going back to the post, what they brought up of what manga can learn from comics was more political stories and diversity, which are both buzzwords.
Yeah,
and most media communities these days, to be honest. Which the political side, I'm like, I don't think this person's read enough manga. I feel like there's plenty of stories in anime and manga that do have a political side to them.
It's just that we don't notice it because it's from a different country, so we don't have the context for it. I'm pretty sure there are political things that we're just missing, whereas if a Japanese person were to read it, he would be picking up a lot more. Yeah, because these are translated comics from another country, so they have their own like culture seeped into it, so in which we're just missing, or even maybe the translation isn't picking it up, or whatever.
Yeah, and then we also have series like One Piece kind of has elements of that. Then you have series like Beastars and tons of other series that kind of the entirety of Gundam.
Yes, the entirety of
most real robot anime series kind of dive into that stuff. So that I think it's already there. It's just I feel like it's a matter of just broadening your horizons and what you're reading. Because I hate Devilman was like a war story in a sense. So
anti-war story in a way.
Yeah, anti-war.
Yeah. And also, I hate this idea that, the only reason why manga is, succeeding is because it's non-woke and political and stuff. I'm like, no, it's just doing its own thing. I don't know why we in the West here are, so obsessed with those two, topics, because, like you said, they're, these magical buzzwords that we've created for ourselves. Whereas manga just kind of does its own thing, which, thank God. And, it has the same thing. It has politics. I'm pretty sure if you dive deep enough, you can find diverse manga, in terms of, everyone, race, gender, and, sexuality and stuff. I mean, there's literally a whole genre called BL, and, Yuri and Yaoi, Shonen Ai, and all of that stuff. So
I feel just with manga, it's not as advertised. Like a manga or anime could be very political or have diversity, but it's not slapping you in the face. Hey, we have it. We're talking about human rights and racism. Isn't racism fucked up? And look, this character is from another. It's not as in your face about it. Which I'm not sure if that's a social media thing, because I feel like every time Marvel or DC, for example, will release a gay black character, it's just punched into your face. This person's gay and they're a different color, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you could have just.
By the way, they're not doing that out of the goodness of their hearts. They just think they can make money off that. All right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not really for the sake of story and integrity, which I feel and hope most people will be fine with that. But then there's other people that just kind of just want to use that buzzword anytime they see anything that doesn't fit with their their perceptions.
Yeah. Also,
But
we have to remember, like, the manga that we get. Remember, this is being translated for us. When these mangas are initially, like, like realized and stuff, they're meant for a Japanese audience first. They're not meant for like an international audience. Some do, I guess, now, especially nowadays, since the Japanese anime and manga industry are realizing how much hunger and demand there is for that stuff in foreign markets. But like, still to this day, I'm pretty sure the average mangaka is thinking like, this has to please a Japanese audience first before I can even think about, it going to international markets. And also because like, guys, we're getting the cream of the crop when it comes to like manga translations. There's plenty of manga that we have no idea of that never get translations into English, or if they do, it's like not legal, or heck, it doesn't even get picked up by the illegal like scans and stuff. Like there's a whole entire like section of manga that we're not seeing. So
yeah,
like, you gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah, which is always the case. I feel like the diversity claim, not so much something manga could learn, not even learn. I feel like the diversity claim would be more so for anime, because I feel like anime is more international these days, so I think you could make that argument there. Because especially now you have like America, and I think even like Saudi Arabia is like funding anime, and I think they teamed up with Toei and they made like an Arabian Night anime for themselves.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I remember. I do know Saudi Arabia was kind of like going out there and funding like anime and video games and everything like that. So like in that case, I can see like diversity becoming more prevalent with anime later down the line. But with manga, it is trying to cater to.
And we're also seeing
audience.
like more anime from China and Korea as well. So like that's another thing. And also like if you look at the studio that did Avatar, what else is there? Voltron, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Make that distinction.
Oh yeah, I mean when people say Avatar, I just think of Last Airbender. I don't even think of blue people. So,
but the movie's out right now, so we have to.
I guess, but I feel like you have to be like a real normie to think of like the blue people over like the animated show. I guess that's a good like litmus test for normies. When I say Avatar, what do you think of?
Yeah, so Avatar: The Last Airbender, Korra. I think they also did, Voltron. I think they also did Castlevania, if I'm not mistaken, or was that somebody else?
Castlevania is like a Texas-based studio called Powerhouse Studios, I think is their name.
Okay, but either way, still, like they're very clearly anime-inspired, and they're using the anime style and aesthetic. So, like, I mean, Mother's Basement did a video on this years ago on like what is anime even? Like, does it have to be from Japan? Does it not have to be? Especially when you have these, international created, like a lot of Japanese anime that we would consider Japanese are done by a Korean anime studio. So like, how do you square that circle? So
even like back then there was a lot of cartoons being animated in Japan. So like, is Batman the Animated Series anime?
There wasn't like an Adventure Time episode done by that guy. What's his name?
Yeah, Yuasa Masaki.
Yeah, Yuasa. Yeah, there we go. Like, so it's like, does that become anime because the Japanese person was like the director on it? I don't know.
See, I remember way back then when I was in high school years ago, which hurts to say, but years ago. I remember I'm like, no, there's a clear distinction between like cartoons and anime. Because I remember there was a big controversy back when like My Anime List put Avatar: The Last Airbender on My Anime List, and people were like flipping out. And I mean, I don't feel like it, even if it wasn't anime, I don't feel like people got mad, like unnecessarily mad. I'm like, whoa, chill, you need to like calm the fuck down.
There was a recent controversy as well, but it's more on the manga side. So there's an American manga publisher. Yes, you heard that right. American manga publisher called Saturday AM. They've started releasing like their own versions of like tankobons. I mean they're basically the same size. They just instead of right to left, it's left to right. But they are like American produced manga. Like if they weren't left to right, you would be like, that's manga, like on the face value of it, until you saw like who are the creators, the names, the publisher. But if I just showed you like images of it, like look up like one of their mangas, which I want to read, is called Clock Tower. One of the creators was having an argument like, why are you advertising it as manga? You're not Japanese. And they had the same struggle as well. It's like, well, what is manga anyways? Like, what's the definition are we agreeing on?
I mean, at the end of the day, it means comics, it means animation.
Yeah.
I mean, see, that's the thing. There's always slippery slopes, because then if we want to even get to tokusatsu, that just means special effects. Which then that's a very big slippery slope, because then it's like, okay, is Star Wars tokusatsu? Is the RoboCop tokusatsu?
I mean, I've heard like other people say, like, when they go to Japan, every piece of animation is considered anime. So, like, Despicable Me, for example, is considered anime to them, like to a Japanese person, because anime just means animation. So, like, again, it's something that it's a difference we've specifically created. Now, granted, I'm not a saint in this. Even I have a sort of distinction in my head. Like, Steven Universe or Big Family Greens or We Bare Bears, I don't count that as anime. That, to me, is still like, oh, that's a cartoon. Whereas, what do you call it? Like, I don't know, something like, I don't know, Trigun or Gundam or, JoJo. Oh, that's anime. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess everyone can have different perceptions. I don't particularly make a big deal out of it. I mean, if you came up to me and be like, yeah, SpongeBob's my favorite anime, like, good for you. Those first 3 seasons were awesome as fuck. But yeah, going back to like the main topic in terms of like what manga can learn from comics, and I know some people might be like, oh no, but I honestly feel like scheduling wise they could learn something, because like we've heard so many like horror stories of people in the industry with like deadlines, and like I don't think the weekly structure is like healthy.
Yeah, like, so I mean, this will only apply to manga publishers to do it weekly. I haven't heard much complaints from manga creators who are on a monthly schedule with different magazines, and obviously the whole comic industry pretty much runs on a monthly schedule usually. So yeah, I think the weekly thing, like, I mean, there's so many cases. I mean, the guy who made Yu Yu Hakusho even had an equation of how much free time a mangaka actually has. And like, I think like Super Eye Patchful said, in order to survive this system, you can't just be good enough. You have to be a prodigy, because you have to have so many like magical unicorn level art skills and storytelling skills to survive in it.
Yeah, because like, I mean, I think Oda, or was it Kishimoto? One of them, I think, like, they didn't go on a proper honeymoon when they got married. It's like...
Oh, I think it was Kishimoto for Naruto. Yeah, he did it after 11 years when Naruto finally, like, ended. Oh, by the way, sorry, I gotta open my door because my cat wants to get out. Yeah.
All right, no worries.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that meowing. Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Okay, he's out now. You can continue. My bad.
All right. Yeah, it's just that... Yeah, like I don't think it's healthy. Like Hirokoshi for Hero Academia. I mean, obviously it might not be tied to the whole weekly deadline, but like him and Oda, are constantly taking breaks, and like,
and they end up at the hospital. I mean, I don't know if Hirokoshi has, but Oda definitely has ended up in the hospital.
Yeah, and he even works in the hospital.
Which is, how does he? Okay, like that.
Yeah,
it's One Piece that much.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get it. I understand it's something you gotta get out of your system. But I remember when I tried making YouTube work for a brief period of time a few years ago, and like I tried getting a video out every week. Eventually, I'm like, fuck this. I have to do it bi-weekly, and like my videos aren't high art. So I'm trying to think. I'm like, I can't imagine. I mean, like, obviously, mangakas have assistants and everything, which is another thing I think they could learn. Because, with comics, there always is credit to, like, the artist, the penciler, the inker, the colorist, and stuff like that.
Yeah, the editor, and yeah. But in manga, for some reason, they don't go that far. We just know the main mangaka. We don't know who the editor is, who does the backgrounds, who does the inking, who does, like, whatever the job is. Like, because every mangaka has a team. Every manga has a team. It's not just one person.
Yeah, it's not a complete one-man show. Like, I even know the creator of Golgo 13, because, that series went on forever.
Is it still going, or has it ended?
I think it's still going, even though the creator passed away.
Okay.
But I remember as he got older with age, he had like the assistants pretty much do everything, but he had to draw the faces.
Yeah. Oda in one of his like Q&A like things, the SBS mentioned that like he lets his assistants do the backgrounds or like anything that's inorganic, like a wall or like whatever, but like anything that's like living and like needs to move and stuff, he has to personally do it because he feels that like nobody can match him in that, or he's like very picky about that. So like that's what he has to do. That's his thing.
Right. So like, and it's interesting because some of these assistants they later make a career for themselves. And like I know of like Tatsuki Fujimoto, a lot of his assistants are currently doing great work right now. From like Spy X Family, Hell's Paradise, and Dan 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 Dan. So and those are all like pretty big, high profile
Series
manga
right
right
now.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Hell's Paradise is getting an anime. Spy Family kind of took over when its anime series came out.
Yeah, I
And
went
then
to a convention recently called Anime North here in Canada, and there were so much Spy Family cosplay. Like I saw Twilights and Yours everywhere, like completely everywhere. Oh god, and Anna's.
Yeah. My mom actually watched Spy X Family. She was a big fan of it. Like I think she doesn't watch that many anime. I think during the pandemic, my brothers convinced her to watch some. I think it started with Demon Slayer, which she enjoyed, but her favorite wound up becoming Hunter x Hunter, which still is her favorite. But then Spy X Family was coming close for her. But yeah, she's seen a few anime. She's seen like most of the Ghibli movies. And then, like, Death Note, and I think Full Metal Alchemist. I'm not sure how long she lasted with that. And then one of my brothers is trying to get her to watch JoJo.
Oh, that's okay. That's going to be it.
She couldn't survive it at first, but then my brother reconvinced her to give it another try. My mom's like, why are these men dressed this way?
Wait, which, like, part 1 or part 3?
Yeah. My brother wasn't going to be a part skipper.
Oh god, dude, we're going to start that controversy debate.
But yeah, going back on topic again, I guess that's something to get used to in the podcast. We're probably going to go on a lot of different tangents.
Yeah. We'll try to mitigate it as much as we can, but like it's
it's all about the conversation, baby. That's the flow of the conversation.
That's an inside joke.
But yeah, I think in terms of like what manga can learn from comics, I feel like that's the two main things, just like the structure of it, and then just credit to more people, because like nowadays we all know manga isn't entirely like a one-man show.
Yeah.
There are more hands that go into that. And like some mangaka are nice enough to like mention their assistants every now and then, or occasionally give them some space to do something or say something.
Yeah, if you read, I mean, I think I'm expecting most people read their chapters online by using some sort of service. But if you get the volumes, right, like digitally or whatever, if like
official English.
Yes, official English manga, which is how God intended you to read manga, and I'm going to die on that hill.
Yeah, that's a reference from our previous podcast, the original Punchcast.
Yeah, it has to be official, baby. You got to get that officialness in there, the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
So. They usually like I've noticed like there's a page where like they mention the assistants, but they don't tell you what assistant does what. They just like a page, and they have usually fun, cute drawings of the assistants, and then it's like, but they don't tell you like, oh, this guy did the backgrounds, this guy did the inks or whatever. Like I don't like it's just the pages. It's like, okay, that's cool, that's better than nothing. But like I think it would be nice to see like who did what and what's contributing, because especially for an aspiring artist, I think it's important to see like, okay, this is a team like effort. It's not just a one-man show. Yeah,
and like I feel like it would also be nice just to see like possible upcoming talent. I mean, like a lot of people like even Oda started off as an assistant to the creator of Rurouni Kenshin. So like a lot of people have their starts in Go Nagai was an assistant to Shotaro Ishinomori. Shotaro Ishinomori was an assistant to Tezuka. So everyone gets their start somewhere. So I feel like having more of that credit, it helps people that want to keep an eye on the upcoming.
You can see the line of succession in terms of manga all-time greats.
Yeah, you can just see like where all these people are coming from. So that'd be nice to see. But I mean, I know a lot of people these days, especially, mostly people that don't even read like American comics are pretty like ready to like shit on it. But both you and I have, me more recently, thanks to you, have
I
gotten into
poisoned him,
American
folks,
comics.
with comics. Yeah, he poisoned me with Toku, and I got him back. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went with comics, which comics has been more recent. We'll probably get into that a bit later.
Yeah.
But like there definitely are things that comics could probably learn. I'm sure the big thing we're both pretty annoyed with comics is like the whole numbering.
Oh god. Okay, so people, let me tell you. I mean, Shaheen has faced this now ever since he started. Not just recently, but even like a few years ago when he started the Ninja Turtles comic. So comic book numbering is very arbitrary and very bullshit, and it's kind of there since the beginning. So to give you a little history lesson, back in the day, customers were very wary about numbers. If a comic book had a high issue number, chances are it's going to be a better sell to the customer, because the customer is going to be like, oh, it has a high issue number, meaning it stood the test of time. It's, it probably has a large audience following. So there's an element of quality embedded into that number. So what publishers did was they used to try whatever sneaky methods they could, even outright lie, to get high numbers. For example, a publisher would be like, back by popular demand, they put that on the cover, and it would be like an issue 7, but issues 1 to 6 don't exist.
Oh my god!
Yeah, full on like false advertising.
I didn't know about that. That's terrible.
Yeah, full on like false, because like you gotta add that high issue number. Marvel and DC both have done this. Marvel, I know more on the Marvel end. Like for example, like anthologies were the name of the game back in the day. Like Action Comics was an anthology. Superman was not the whole issue; he was like a third of the issue. Then there were other 2 stories in there. Detective Comics, same thing. Batman was not the whole issue. It was like a third of it, right? Same thing with even Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy. The Spider-Man story, I think it's like the last story in that book. So like it's not like the whole thing. But like, Journey into Mystery started, that's where Thor first started. But then slowly over time, it became a Thor-only book, or where Thor starred. And eventually, they just changed the title from Journey into Mystery to Thor, but they kept the numbering going. So if you see like, a Thor issue 500, it's not actually 500 issues, it's like 100 issues less, because I think 100 and something is when they changed Journey into Mystery to Thor. And same thing with Detective Comics and Action Comics. Like, slowly over time, those just became like, oh, that's just where Batman is, that's where just Superman is, so let's just make it all Superman and all Batman, because those are the hit characters. And now that's what they're known for. Like, Detective Comics is just Batman's, like, book, and, like, Superman is just Action Comics, like, book. Though their numbering is actually accurate, but like, yeah, Marvel just changed it over, because like Detective Comics, Action Comics didn't change to Batman or to Superman, but Marvel did change things. Sorry, my cat wants to get back in, because that's what he's gonna go in and out. That's what he does. His name is Wally. Yeah, he's a baby. He's fat. Yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, so. I think it was Tales to Astonish turned into Hulk. Hulk was like issues 1 to 6. Book got cancelled. They put him in Tales to Astonish. Over time, it just became a Hulk book, and they just like Hulk 101 was like, and became like a Hulk book. Whereas issue 100 would be like, I don't know, Tales to Astonish. Again, I'm making up the numbers. These are not accurate numbers, but again, like the principle was still there. They just changed the numbers over. So that's bullshit. And then you have something they do recently, which I fucking hate. So nowadays, Marvel and DC like to change the numberings, and they like to reboot the title. So, for example, Spider-Man will have like an issue like 1 to 150, and then for whatever reason they restart the numbering at number 1, because they want to get that first issue sales bump, and also make it clear to like, or at least they believe it makes it clear to, new people who want to read like, hey, this is a starting point because it's a number 1. But then,
which is probably what we'll do with a podcast right now. This is going to be Punchcast episode 1.
Number 1, yeah. Punchcast Redux or whatever.
Yeah.
So they would do like 1 to 1/5. Like, let's say they would do issues 1 to 10 of a reboot, but then issue 11 is technically an anniversary issue, because it's the 100th issue, or the overall the 200th or the 300th or whatever. So would they change the numbering in the middle? So it'll be like, oh, Like if you ever pick up a collection and it's like issues 1 to 11, then 300 to whatever, it's because they changed the numbering in the middle. So that's also bullshit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then they ask like, why don't we get new customers? Why don't we get new readers? I'm like, yeah, because you do stunts like this that confuses everybody. Just keep one numbering going. Like, just make it clear to them, like, hey, even if you pick up issue 500, we're making it like a good starting point for new readers. We'll explain to you everything all along the way. Just advertise it like that. Like, don't like doing this whole like number switching thing. Or if you're going to do the number switching thing, then stick with the number switching. Don't change your mind halfway because you got a chance to make money off an anniversary issue. Like, it's so annoying. And then, oh god, this is I know one series did it twice because they were going to hit issue 50, but then a few issues later down the line they were going to hit issues like 200 or something. So they did 2 anniversaries, like, back to back.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, yeah, be wary of this, dear people who want to read, at least Marvel and DC comics. Indies don't do this. Like, Walking Dead didn't do this. Invincible didn't do this. Just kept the numbering going. But, like, yeah, DC and Marvel does this frequently.
Well, see, not so much the numbering thing, but, like, I know the IDW Ninja Turtle comics. Has been annoying me lately because when I started reading them, I was reading them through like their big collections, which kind of
the big IDW collections that they make. Yeah,
right. Yeah, those kind of like put everything nice and easy for you to like read through.
Yeah, you just pick up the volume number, volume 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to worry about what to read next. Technically, yeah.
There's no bullshit around that. So, like, eventually I ran out of those and I started reading through, like, the mainline series.
Yeah,
for a while,
individual issues you started reading.
Yeah, so for a while, it was going fine. I was reading along. But then, right now, currently, the big event is, like, the Armageddon game. So, the Armageddon game has a side comic called The Pre-Game. On top of that, you got the other one where it's just like, I forgot the names, like Armageddon Game something else. Then you also have like character side stories that you have to read as well. So there's like 3 things on the side you have to read while reading the mainline series. And it's like, why couldn't this all... It's of course, you have like different artists working on all these comics, but at the same time, like, I don't get why this all could have been just incorporated into the main storyline. Like, why am I having to do like homework and research to like navigate through the damn story?
If anybody wants to get into comics, unfortunately, you're going to have to research reading orders, especially if it's like a DC or Marvel comic. Again, this doesn't apply to every single comic. But if it has a universe, even it's like TMNT has a small universe, but it is enough to have like, I don't know, like 300 spin-offs. You're going to have to look up reading orders because, like, they end up making multiple titles, and then those titles end up chronologically coming between, like, between issues 24, 25. You're going to have to read a spin-off. Like, imagine this, people who manga readers. Imagine if every time Oda did a flashback, that flashback wouldn't be in the One Piece like book itself. It would be a separate series by itself. And you'd have to go read that, then come back to the main One Piece book and then continue reading. That's how it is, like, basically.
Like, you're reading the Drum Island arc? You have to read the Chopper side story to understand his fucking backstory.
Story, yes, exactly. Like that's honestly just how it works. And I wish comic books were just like, look, if it's important for the story, because like manga isn't afraid to do that. Like Oda, if he has to tell a flashback story, One Piece for the next 5 to 10 chapters is just that flashback story and nothing else. And he does, and it's like no one complains, no one minds, because it's important to the story for you to know this person's backstory. It's going to mean something. And a lot of times, especially with the TMNT thing, the side stories were important. You had to know them to like understand what's happening. So I'm like, just let it be that thing. Like if it's a 4-issue miniseries, have the next 4 issues of the main Ninja Turtles book just be that. Then we'll get back to the main story once we get to it. Like if it's important, we need to know. Like don't just let it. Oh God.
Yeah, because like right now, like you have for like Ninja Turtles for this whole Armageddon game thing. So you see the villains making their teams, like like teaming up with each other and forming alliances to go against the turtles. Then you have another side story where the turtles are in like a training arc and they're learning how to use ki, and like Donatello could like throw a ki blast now.
Oh shit! All right. Okay.
Yeah, so we're there. we're there with turtles, full anime. And then in the mainline series, and like the actual comic book. They're fighting against mutant terrorists. So I'm just like, why couldn't this all just be incorporated into a nice narrative structure? Why am I like having to like loop around? It's like sometimes I get thrown off because I guess part of the detriment to being monthly is a lot of things happen in a month.
Yeah, and also because I know one of the reasons why they do this is because one of the things I complained about was that they had 2 Ninja Turtles titles. One of them was just TMNT. The other one was TMNT Universe. And their explanation was what I found online, which I don't believe, is that TMNT Universe is going to be where we tell our side character stories. It's because because the cast for TMNT by that point in the history of IDW TMNT was pretty big. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, you read TMNT for the main 4 turtles, and then anything that's a side character related, you'll read in Universe. Makes sense. Shaheen can back me up on this. TMNT Universe is just another TMNT book.
It's
just
like
about
important shit you need to know. It's not just something like, oh, it's okay. I didn't really need that.
It is important. Like literally, the first story is them introducing a new villain fighting the main Ninja Turtles. The EPF guy. And so. I know why they do it is because hey, in a month they got a lot of weeks. 1 week you buy TMNT, the next week you buy TMNT Universe. I get it, but this is where confusion gets made. This is where you're making readers do homework because you got to look up reading orders and shit. So maybe don't do them, just to keep the sake of simplicity. I mean, they do simplify it later on with the IDW collections because you just pick up the volume number. You don't have to worry about what's coming next. You just read what's literally what's on the next page or the next volume, but
the way God intended.
The way God intended, exactly. But yeah, it's you're making it annoying for the customer. So
no, it literally is homework because I remember at the end of one of the Armageddon game issues, it's like, oh yeah, so they had a calendar of when all the other issues were coming out, and it was a fucking I was looking at the phase for the MCU. It's like, oh, this is coming out. I'm like, bro, what the hell? I just want to read the next chapter. Why are you making me have to key an eye out for a bunch of different things?
I mean, I'm now a pretty, I would say. I'm a pretty seasoned reader, at least for TMNT. I got Shaheen into it, and it's for me, it's the number 1 TMNT series ever. It's the basis of which I compare all other TMNT stuff. Even I told Shaheen I'm just reading the collections. I don't care. Whatever happened, I'm just gonna wait for the collections, then I'm gonna read.
It's just it takes so long, and I'm worried. Well, see, I'm already at that point because sometimes I'm reading and a character will pop out. I'm like, wait, who are you? And so I'm like, oh crap, I think I have to go reread this. But then, with comic books, I guess that's another thing. With comic books, I feel they just introduce too many damn characters. I mean, even One Piece has that problem, but at least we have our core characters. Mm-hmm. But yeah, with comic books, it's because I guess you have to make it feel like a living, breathing universe that's interconnected with a bunch of other shit.
I don't entirely blame DC and Marvel, because when you have a universe where almost every character is getting their own book and their own story, I get it. There's going to be complications. But these, things just make it unnecessarily more complicated. If there's going to be one Spider-Man book, just either you keep the numbering or you don't. Either every arc gets a new numbering or it doesn't. Just have consistency so that we know that, okay, this is how it works. This is how it's always worked. This is how it's always going to continue to work. And there's only one thing to, follow. But they keep changing their minds every single time, and, it gets really, really fucking annoying. And you're adding to the confusion when it's already, pretty dense. It's because, I get it. Wonder Woman and Batman need to have a separate book. Whatever Wonder Woman's doing has fuck all to do with Batman. And both might even have completely different readerships. not necessarily every Batman is going to read Wonder Woman and vice versa. And so, like, I get it. You need to have separate books, but like, once you start doing all of these like gimmicks with the numbers, like that's when it like gets really, really annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a major thing. And then also like because we were kind of talking about it before we hit record, it's just like also like the ease of access of getting into comics. Because if I want to go read manga, it's pretty simple. Like even with legal methods, because I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, I just Google whatever."
Yeah.
But like with manga, like it's very simple. You just go on Amazon or Bookwalker or whatever. You just pick up the manga, or like even actual manga apps, like primarily with Viz. I think is an amazingly good deal. Even when they raise their price to be like $3, I'm like, you know what? That's still a great deal. I really don't care. Considering like what you get for that price, you get like weekly chapters of ongoing series on Jump, plus like their whole vault. And while I do still think the vault I wish had more legacy series, I still don't know why Yu Yu Hakusho is not on there. And for a long time, Hunter x Hunter was on there. It was
really?
only like when only when Togashi came back, they're like, oh hey, let's just put Hunter x Hunter on the app. So there's certain series where I'm just kind of like it's kind of like a head scratch. Like we have most things Akira Toriyama did, because of course. And then I guess at this point we have most things Tatsuki Fujimoto did, because I just looked on the app and like that one shot thing he did, like I forgot what they call it, like 17 through 21.
Oh yeah, those
like the before Chainsaw Man releases, those came out on the Jump app, which I was surprised. Because I mean, I thought like they were online. I saw them like available to buy for a long time, but they just put them on the app. So I feel that's pretty good. It's all pretty.
And you get it. Right, and you get it. Okay, so I have the DC Universe app, whereas you have Marvel Unlimited. Marvel Unlimited I used some time ago, but I have confirmation from Shaheen it's still the same. Their search engine is horrible, and like the price point is so much higher. Like Shonen Jump has like $2-3 a month, whereas for DC Universe Infinite, which I'm paying for, it's $9 a month. That's the lowest tier. Then there's a higher tier than that, which is like $144 a year or whatever. Whereas, with Shonen Jump, if you multiply it by a year, you're only paying like $30-40 a month, a year. So like the price point is also pretty high. And also like the Marvel Unlimited app, at least for me, was unusable. I couldn't search what I was looking for. They were separating a lot of things. Like I couldn't get their organization and stuff. So I just dropped it, and I'm just like buying collections of Kindle and stuff because I'm in Canada. Comixology doesn't exist here, which is another whole topic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then but like DC Universe, I like how they organize it. It's very similar to how Comixology did it back in the day. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense to me, and I'm using it and I'm happy with it. But like again, like the price point, not everybody can afford it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like I almost want to give both of them the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, I slightly understand being more than Jump because like they both offer, like in terms of like titles they offer, it's a lot more.
Yeah, I would. I would. I guess, but like, the both of them have long histories. I mean, like the Shonen Jump is not even their full entire library still.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, if Jump really did have the entire. I mean, then again, that would be kind of impossible because there's a lot of things in Shonen Jump that just never got officially licensed.
True, but from what did get officially licensed, we still don't have all of that.
Yeah, exactly. I would still, because like now it's kind of out of print, impossible to find. But like I would have loved Ultimate Muscle to like be on Jump, like the sequel to Kinnikuman.
I think that might be a licensing issue, wouldn't it?
See, Viz did have it, and I think they should still have it, but it never got a reprint. And
but like City Hunter isn't on there, Slam Dunk isn't on there.
That's another thing, Slam Dunk, because like I know City Hunter was licensed at one point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's.
I mean, Fist of the North Star, their first ever like big hit Odd of Shonen Jump is not on there. You can get the volumes, you can buy them, but like again, the fact that they're not on the Shonen Jump app is like crazy to me. Like,
I think they might eventually put them on there because, like, I know with JoJo, they kind of wait for like a certain amount to be released and then they'll put it on the app. So I don't know. We're like 7 volumes in for North Star right now, and it still hasn't showed up in the app. So,
yeah. And also, I hate the in the Shonen Jump app, like certain things are available only on the web page but not on the app.
Oh yeah, that's pretty BS. Because like apparently it's just because for like content warning, it's just that I guess there's certain things you're not allowed to show on like the iTunes store. Like nudity and stuff like that. But even some of the titles are like that restricted, but it's not like it's super explicit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't want my kid reading Claymore. I guess.
But like, okay, fine. I mean, you can read Claymore though on the Shonen Jump app.
Yeah, you can, but like it has to be on the desktop. It can't be through the phone.
Oh, really? Wait, let me.
Yeah,
I'm going to check this right now. What the hell?
Okay.
Seriously? Oh, okay. That's annoying. Quick, come on. It has to be there. It can't be not.
No, because I remember I read through Claymore like last year, and I'm like, oh, I can't read it on my phone. I have to like use my desktop. I'm like, okay. Golden Kamui is on Viz, but it's not on, which is weird because I don't get that because like there's certain titles like I know
you can read it. I'm reading it like I can read the chapters right now for Claymore.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, for real. Yeah. It's all
damn.
there.
Okay, they changed that. Okay, well. Let me back myself. Oh, I remember there was a chapter in Chainsaw Man you couldn't read on the app. You had to read it somewhere else.
Oh, that
in the beginning. I'm not sure if they've changed that since then.
Yeah. Because like also they don't advertise it on the app that like, hey, some titles are not available here. They're available only on the web page or something. I would never know that it's like I didn't know Call Golden Kamui was available even on the.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think and then even Don is not. It's not available on the Viz app, but it is available on Jump Plus, which is weird. Because on the Viz app, you can only read that series on the desktop, but on the Jump Plus app, it's like, yeah, no, come read it.
I hope they simplify all this later on, and also get the ultimate reading experience that is guided view. The way once again, God intended for you to read it in guided view. Manga and comic books, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. I converted Shaheen as well. All right. He even admits guided view is better. All right, say it with me.
I feel like it depends on like the series. For some comic books, I definitely feel like guided view works. If I'm going to be reading it digitally, I feel guided view works because like some panels, the way certain comic book series are, they have so many panels on one page. Like I really have to like come in and be like, what are you doing here? Like what are you saying? What's going on? Whereas guided view kind of eliminates that, and then I feel like it helps build tension because you don't have the whole page
like,
spoiled.
That's the thing that like that is unfortunate about comic books. It's just not in other visual mediums where like by turning the page, shit might get spoiled because your eye just can't help but look at like what's on the opposite page or what's in the next panel or whatever. But like with guided view, that gets eliminated because again you go like panel by panel, and I understand the argument that like, hey, the way the artist has laid it out on the page is an expression in of itself. It's supposed to make you feel something, so you're supposed to witness that. Yeah, and there's a setting on guided view where you can see the entire page at the end. All right, so like I'm still getting the full experience. I just like it like show me the page bit by bit, then show me the whole thing at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm curious how it'd be for manga.
I've seen it. I mean, so manga. So anything by Viz unfortunately doesn't have guided view, so I don't think it ever will unless they magically decide like, hey, we're going to try this. You can read Attack on Titan in guided view, and you can read like I got, for example, stuff from Dark Horse in guided view. So like, Crying Freeman, Lady Snowblood. I'm pretty sure if you get the like other Kazukoike, manga, like, I don't know, Lone Wolf and Cub, that would be in guided view. But again, I haven't read those yet. Crying Freeman I did.
And yeah, it works great. Like, really good, really fine. Like, I no difference to like how I would like enjoy reading a comic book. So yeah.
Nice. See, maybe because like I'm still kind of new to comic books right now. Well, I say new, but I've been reading them for like a few years. But like, I haven't read as many comics as I have.
Even I'm still new, especially when I compare myself to like seasoned readers, like who've been reading for like 10, 20 years. I'm like, oh my god, you've read so much. Like, I just found like I keep on finding out new series existed in DC and Marvel that I never knew did. So it's like just like their universes are huge, man.
That's true. I mean, like, there's some people I hear like on like comics YouTube, which is very few because I tend to avoid that side like the plague because a lot of them are kind of annoying. Yeah. But the few I do watch that are really nice. Like some of them have like such a history and like, oh yeah, this happened and this. I'm like, how the fuck can you keep all that information? I've been following One Piece for years and I can't even go that in depth with you. Like.
Yeah. I mean, the writers that are like very, very good and very, very effective, they do reminders because like even a seasoned reader is gonna like forget things, right? If you're reading over 20, 30 years, it's hard to remember because right, you're reading a lot. So when they give reminders, it's awesome. Manga doesn't do reminders. It's like, no, you're supposed to remember. What, it was 50 chapters ago? It doesn't matter. You're supposed to remember.
Maybe that's something they could learn from each other.
Oh yeah, that is something. Yeah, maybe they could, but I don't know. I feel like manga
I don't feel like it works
it.
for a lot of series. Like, I feel like that only work for like again One Piece. I think that would be a great thing because like sometimes One Piece would be like, here's this character. I'm like, I think I kind of know them, but who are they?
Yeah, then you get like
One Piece. Everyone becomes big and important if you give them enough time. Like,
yeah, that's something I think manga could learn is that like if your series is going on for a while, a reminder here and there, like for example, when Luffy met his third brother. When they hug, like, yes, it's an awesome moment and you get that, full page and everything. But then the next few panels, maybe just do a slight reminder, like a few panels here and there about, like, this is who the brother is. This is why this means a lot because they've been separated for God knows how many years and stuff. So, like, just to remind people, especially when you when Oda brings, like, what you think is an unimportant side character back and you're like, wait, you're important? I barely remember you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. There's always. I feel every now and then with One Piece. Also, the world of One Piece is so like densely populated, which is definitely a triumph in Oda. I really feel like out of all like adventure manga I've read, he's definitely has to be like the best in terms of just really making this world feel.
And
like
he did that with like one book, whereas DC and Marvel had to do that with like hundreds. So
exactly, and it's all one story.
Yeah,
I feel like whether you love it or hate it, One Piece really is a triumph in like comics overall. Yes. Like it's like a triumph. Once One Piece ends, that's a historic moment.
That's a historic moment, and it's going to be a very, very big hole to fill. So like it'll be exciting to see what comes next.
And I'm curious if that hole will ever be filled. I feel like we've officially left the main comic book. Anyway, I think this is a slightly more interesting conversation because, like, the way Jump, because I've been kind of following newer Jump series for a while. There's a lot of promising series that are coming out these days.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned it's like they're becoming shorter and more like precise. Like Demon Slayer, I'm surprised has ended as quick as it did. I thought it was going to go, this is going to be the next thing for 20 years.
Yeah, and like Hero Academia is wrapping up. Jujutsu Kaisen's apparently wrapping up, which I was more surprised about Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah,
Hero Academia, I was kind of feeling it for like a while. I'm like, okay, we're wrapping it. Even though I'm kind of disappointed, I feel like Hero Academia definitely could have had a lot more world building. Like, I definitely feel like if Hirokoshi really wanted to, he could have made it like a big, huge.
Yeah,
long
My Hero
series.
Academia and One Punch Man. I mean, they both are basic, like Eastern versions of what we know from like Western superheroes. They definitely like could easily make spin-offs upon spin-offs upon spin-offs. I mean, Vigilantes is pretty good, honestly. Like, and it's like a completely different set of almost a completely different set of characters, and it was a pretty good book. So
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I finished it last year, and Yeah, there were some aspects of it. At the time, I was actually liking it more than the mainline series.
There are flashbacks to certain characters that they give their
that was the most comic booky thing it's done.
Yeah, but I'm surprised. I'm like, this should be in the main series. Like, this character is really important in the main series, but if you don't read Vigilantes, you would never know any of this about them, which is like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is a very comic booky thing to do.
Yeah, but like, going back to what I was saying, like, I feel like when One Piece ends, and I guess maybe Hunter x Hunter when that eventually happens, if Togashi feels like doing it, I don't think, like, I feel like that, like, it's an era of shonen that's over. I don't think it's going to be all about, series that, like, last for hundreds and hundreds of chapters.
Are we on the brink of it? Because Naruto has Boruto right now. Alright? Dragon Ball Z got Super. Okay? Bleach is coming back.
Only the anime came back. It wasn't like, they're making, at least so far, it's not like Hulu came back. It's like, Bleach, Bleach 2.
Bleach 2. More Bleach.
I was trying to think of a different thing with Bleach. Like, but Clorox. But I think that's
Bleach 2, the bleaching. Never mind. Okay.
Bleaching.
So,
anyways,
So, Attack on Titan has a prequel series as well. Like, Before the Fallen, I think it's something like that it's called.
Yeah, I think. But I think the creator said he's not doing a sequel.
He's not doing a sequel. Okay.
I mean, that could always change.
Yeah, that can always change. I mean, Toriyama, didn't he say, like, after Z is over, it's done, nothing's going to continue, or something like that?
I mean, it was that way for a long time. So I'm pretty sure Toei was like, hey, buddy. We
need the money.
You want to come back? I'll give you some money, man. You want to, like, just poke some of the stick. Come on.
One Piece is one I hope never gets a sequel. I hope it just stays as whatever 1,000-chapter thing it's going to be at the end, and, like, just... That's it.
See, that's the thing. I feel like Toei will probably milk it. They'll do some kind of spin-off movies or some shit. I'm really hoping, because, Oda's like, One Piece is not going to be a romance series. It's just a romance between, like, man and adventure. So, like, I'm almost hoping we don't see any of the crew have kids. So they can't just be like, oh, well, this is Luffy's kids' adventure.
But Luffy has to... I mean, if you read the way it's going, he has to die at the end. He has to.
Yeah, so like, we're like, this is Zoro's son, and he was inspired by Luffy, and now he wants to be the greatest pirate swordsman captain in the world, and he's going to go conquer space, and he's going to become the space king, pirate king.
Yeah. And his name is Boro.
Bolo.
Yeah.
And he has 5 swords.
Oh, right. He has to have more swords than Zoro. Yeah. That's how I know he's better than Zoro. Yeah, he has
more swords.
Or put the other 2 swords, because you have both hands, the mouth, where the toes?
Put one between his ass cheeks.
Oh my god.
My dad could never. Or, I don't know, he could be like a real FU to his dad and be like, I use 1 sword.
That would be cool, honestly, if he had less swords. Like, he uses the 1 sword. Like,
no swords. I just use
no swords. Oh,
he just, like, does karate chops.
But
as a sword. His arm is a sword.
His arm is a sword.
Sword. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. Shonen Jump, if you're going to do this, we want money. These are not for free, these ideas.
I actually think, like, the idea of a swordsman not using sword, but only using his arm, I think that's a great concept. So give me money.
It sounds like a wacky Oda concept as well, so yeah.
Yeah. It's like, the greatest swordsman in the world uses no sword.
Okay, so moving on back to the topic. One thing I would like to see, like, manga color, I would like to see more colored manga, actually, because I know One Piece has one, but it's not legally available here. I think Dragon Ball Z did one for their, like, sagas, like the Saiyan saga and the Frieza saga.
They stopped.
Yeah, they stopped for some reason. I don't know why, because I thought they'd make a, like, Dragon Ball makes money upon money, so I don't understand why they
I
stop.
mean, it'd be interesting to see because I know manga's like been black and white for years for like the reason like it's kind of like more cost effective and everything. And
Yeah, I know the production line reason, but like I think after the series has like clearly like stood the test of time and gotten like a certain amount of sales, like let's go back and release it because like I think Parasite right now is getting a colored manga. We're getting
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're getting it officially. You can buy it on Bookwalker right now, actually.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, that would be interesting because I feel like that might help bring in a new audience. Because I remember one of our friends in a previous on the Punchcast hosts, Reem, she tried getting into Doro Hidoro, but then she's like, "Oh, like I feel like it'd be better if like I could read a color version of this." Which, of course, there is no colored version. So I think she was just trying to tell me she wasn't going to read it. Very few,
in a nice way.
yeah. Very few friends I have gotten into Dorohedoro.
Meanwhile, there's me who's like read it like twice and never finished.
Yeah,
for very specific reasons.
The pain I go through as a Dorohedoro
I
fan
will finish it. I like it. I'm not one of those that don't
you
like it.
guys are all the reason why I had to make my channel. Like, man, my friends won't get into the shit I like. Maybe I can convince random people on the
I've
internet.
gotten into a lot of shit you like.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
Like
a reason.
you're the best case scenario. You're what like, I expected everyone else to be like. I even had a whole damn anime club, and like I think I only got like it was an anime club of like 100+ people, and I only got like 2 people to read Dorohedoro, which still is better than 0 people into Dorohedoro.
Yeah.
And since then we've got an anime. And shit like that, and more people seem to recognize Dorohedoro and claim it as an inspiration. But yeah, still, I'm just like, damn, bro, like how hard do I got to show the series? Maybe I haven't showed it hard enough. Maybe I got to make it my whole personality.
Yeah. Also, like, we're back on the topic of like, or make it your whole personality. Really,
I got to start wearing a mask and everything. And
oh no, you'd
violently stab
be
people.
insufferable by it. Oh god. Jeez. Anyways, back to the topic. There are a lot of comic book readers I know. They hate black and white. They would, even if a comic book comes out in black and white, they skip it on like it's an automatic skip in their mind. So, those people, I'm pretty sure they feel about manga the same. Like, why is it black and white? I don't like reading black and white. So, if more manga decided to go the color route, that would be interesting. I think because I've seen One Piece colored and it looks beautiful, especially as a series as like fantastical as One Piece, especially when you go to like the different arcs in different places. Like, look at the whole Kick Island arc. Like, how many fucking candy colors can you like put on a fucking page? Like, it'll be like it's a visual like masterpiece. Like, it's so beautiful. So yeah, I think that would be interesting to see like more manga in color, please. After it's like proven its success, because I know manga is very much like a production line, but like once a series has clearly proven like, hey, this is a hit, re-release it, get more money in color. Yeah.
And also, like, I don't know, just like when you're bringing over manga, just like keep the damn color pages. I feel like we've gotten pretty better at that lately.
Yeah.
But there's like a couple series, like I know Dorohedoro, like the first 3 volumes we got like the color pages, and after that it's just like the heavy, just like blotchy black and white, where like everything, like it almost becomes hard to read. And like it's kind of annoying because like Berserk has these like beautiful like deluxe editions.
Yeah.
You'd expect them to have color pages. There is no color pages.
Did the original have color pages?
I don't think the original releases had color pages either, but like, I feel like a big, awesome deluxe edition would be the place you would put a color page.
Yeah. As a bonus, yeah, right. That would be nice.
Yeah. But instead at the end of the volume you get like the original volume covers, you get those in like really nice quality.
Yeah, and I know there are people out there that like they prefer the black and white, because they like to see the line work, and sometimes it looks more beautiful as black and white. I mean, a lot of people have said like Batman would look awesome in black and white, which he does. Like, I've seen it. Like, it looks like really, really cool because he like sometimes certain characters, certain stories just work awesome in black and white. I'm not saying like, oh, everything should be colored. Give us both so we can like give us more options. Like, I would love to read One Piece in color. Versus, I think maybe like a Berserk might be better in like black and white. I don't know, because I've just only seen it in color, and like I like seeing like the pencil work and the artwork there. So yeah, like give us more options. That'd be awesome. Like, I'm not saying like completely go one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always nice to have options with that. But in terms of that, like like there's definitely a lot both sides can learn from each other, and who knows if they ever will.
Ever
I mean,
will. I
both
hope.
are doing well. I know manga's doing a lot better. I
Yeah,
can't really say
manga's
much
doing a
about
lot
comic
better
books.
in terms of sales. So, like, and that's another thing. Like, comic books can learn. Like, so for those who don't know, right now there's like comic books are suffering in sales, and they just took some of the ideas from manga, like their digital strategy, and also like being in more places, like I don't know, in WalMarts and stuff, and making more like easy collections to read, and like stop with these number gimmicks. I think they could easily like, you know, compete at least compete as on the same level as manga, because especially like Marvel and DC have characters we all know, like who knows, like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, because I know that's a barrier of entry, and like there's some characters that I personally like enough that I'm willing to go back from the beginning and read onwards. But like for other characters, I feel like because they always have the same backstory, there might be a couple of differences here and there, but especially thanks to like cartoons and movies, we all have the general idea of all these characters' backstories where you can kind of just jump in whenever.
And even new characters now, like Iron Man was a C-list character before the movie, but after the movies, like he's now become an A-list character. So like, yeah, I mean, I know old school comic book fans still find it weird that people know who Oliver Queen is. Like it's still weird to them. It freaks them out. Like a regular normie, if I say the name Oliver Queen, they know, oh, that's Green Arrow. Like it's weird to them.
Yeah, like you got Green Arrow, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, that's a major. Nobody gave a shit about that. Eternals now, I guess it's like somewhat.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't.
But
think
you know
much
they
people still give a
exist
shit.
at least.
Yeah, I guess even the Inhumans. Now
Yeah.
Blackguard Boltagon is still.
That's a legit name, folks. Black Bolt's his real name is Blackagar Boltagon. Spider-Man's real
still-
name is Peter Parker. His name is Blackagar Boltagon.
Bro, I still hate that so much.
To be fair, it's not that far off from Jugless Juggler.
Okay, but like he's an alien man. I'm willing to give it up. Like, okay, fine, alien. That could mean something in his language. This is still human, inhuman.
No, but still, he was born on Earth and is like from Earth. So yeah, I get like Blackagar Boltagon, but different culture. Still, like the Inhumans have their own culture, so who knows?
But see, also, why could his name be Black Bolt? Since, from my understanding, like his wife Medusa, her name is just Medusa.
Yeah, her name is just Medusa. Yeah.
So why can he just be Black Bolt? Why does he have to have a fucking Blackagar Bolt, bro?
Yeah. Yep. Blackagar Boltagon.
Oh, yeah, when he initially told me that was a real name, I was very mad and I freaked out, and I went through a wide range of emotions upon learning that was the name of a character, and the fact that his powers had nothing to do with like electricity.
Well, I don't know why that was like surprising to you, because maybe because I knew all the time it was voice related. So like maybe I don't know.
I
why,
mean,
like,
Black Bolt. You say that to someone, I'm expecting black electricity,
oh, okay.
or a black guy that can use electricity. But
Yeah,
it's neither.
You've got static and black lightning for that, so like you can use those two for that like niche that you want.
Yeah. And see, I thought Black Bolt and Black Lightning were the same, but
Same
like,
character,
I guess that's
yeah.
that's how foolish.
I
of
mean,
me.
oh, by the way, people, Jugglers from Ultraman, like that's an
Right.
Ultraman character, Ultraman Orb to be specific. Yeah,
Right, Jugless Juggler.
yeah. It's same as Blackagar Boltagon.
Yeah, but like, listen, one is an alien man, and what is essentially a children's show. So I'm like, well, I mean, I guess comics are. Oh, well, that's a whole can of worms right there.
I'm not gonna open that.
Yeah, it's highly debatable. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone, no matter what art form, is trying to sell you on shit.
Yeah. Also, I think this is something I would like to see from comics. I would like to see more genre diversity. Like, for example, like
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, because like manga, for example, can put out a sports like manga.
There's practically a manga for everything.
Yeah, it's practically almost like a manga for everything. Whereas for comic books, I can't say like if somebody's interested in, let's say, baseball, I can't point to a baseball comic off the top of my head that would be like really good for him, other than some issues of the X-Men if they really are into that. But like if you want baseball content in like comic book form, you have to go to manga because like there's tons and tons of it. Like same thing with like soccer, almost any sport. Like there's also like a lacrosse manga I've heard that's apparently amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't know why. I'm like, Japan plays lacrosse, really? Okay.
I mean, like, there's a lot of things. I mean, even like you could practically think of a thing, and there's a manga out there for it, or anime out there for it. Whereas, like, there's a fishing anime and manga. There's a DIY anime. I'm not sure if that one had a manga.
Yeah. If you're interested in seeing dudes fight with their dicks, Dick Fight Island is an actual manga that exists.
There you go. There's that. If you want to see a porn star be a martial artist, there's Booty Royale.
Yeah, I'm reading that right now. I'm on volume 4.
I've been wanting to make a video on that mangaka. He's an interesting individual, and also more interesting, apparently, on an article I saw on Anime News Network. After he's done with Booty Royale, I forgot the Japanese name for it, but the English name's perfect. Once he's done with Booty Royale, he's going to quit being a mangaka because his family caught wind of the types of manga he creates, and they were ashamed. So
oh my god!
I'm like, damn, the shame. I mean, like, I can't imagine having like family and like drawing that kind of stuff.
I mean, Go Nagai had a family and he drew his stuff.
Go Nagai is a different breed. Go Nagai is like the most giga chat. just fucking just does whatever he wants. His editor tells him no, and be like, I'm still going to do it anyways, kind of guy.
Oh yeah, so what's going to be his next thing that he's going to draw? Or he's going to quit being a mangaka?
Yeah, the Booty Royale guy. Yeah, apparently he said he's going to quit. I'm not sure if it's like he's just going to stop temporarily. Because I'm like, you could like just clean up your act, like just make cleaner manga. I don't know if that's the whole issue.
But he likes drawing beautiful women beating the shit out of each other, Shahi. That's all he can do.
Remove the nipples. I don't know. Remove the nipples. I don't know. Because he has a couple other series. Like, he did Devilman G, which was an interesting kind of reimagining of Devilman that fuses both original Devilman as well as, like, the 70s anime together for, like, a few volumes. That? Yeah. He's the same guy that did Devilman G. Then, I think he made kind of like an Ultraman series, but of course, like, the Ultraman's like a giant naked girl. I forgot the name of that one. I think it's called like Mika Run X. Another one seemed like a kind of controversial title called like Red Man X or something, or Red Man Princess, in which a Japanese high schooler is like taken over by like a Native American warrior who wants vengeance.
Okay. All right, so this is like his version of Ghost Rider or something?
Kind of, but a little bit more racially motivated. Because I think it ends with, like, if I remember correctly, because we're skimming through it, it ends with him or her going to America and, like, going to the White House to decapitate someone. So... yeah.
Oh, okay.
Interesting line of work there. I definitely want to like read all of them and maybe make a video about all of his series. There's a lot of mangaka I want to do that for.
It surprises me how you find these things. It like blows my mind, like that you like somehow like he even like when I wanted to get into the comics, he pointed out comics I never heard of in my life. Like I don't know, there's just an innate ability this guy has.
Yeah, like. I think it was like Requiem the Last Vampire or something like that.
Yes, that was the one. I saw that, but I'm like, I just ignored it. And you were like, oh no, look at the pages, man. They look awesome.
Oh yeah, that comic has some of the most like jaw-dropping art I've experienced. Like, it's insane the quality of art that series has. That's like the only nice thing I could say about it. I mean, like, it's an interesting series, but like it feels like it's one of those series that's so caught up in trying to be as like dark and menacing as possible to the point it kind of becomes childish.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember there's this one point with the main character does something nice, and one of the vampires is like, "Oh, how disgusting! You're being nice. What are you, a pervert?" And then
in this world, if you're nice, you're a pervert. Okay.
yeah, you sicken me. You do something, like you do an act of charity in front of me again, I will decapitate you and fuck your wife.
Wow. Oh, geez, what a response. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. It's one of those things. I think if I remember the story correctly, the main character was a Nazi who died and went to hell.
Oh.
And apparently when you go to hell, depending on your sin, you get turned into a different monster. So if you're some like war criminal scientist, you get turned into a mummy. If you're a rapist, you get turned into a werewolf. I don't know the correlation between any of this, but if you're like a evil soldier, you get turned into a vampire.
Okay.
But all these demon factions have beef with each other.
I thought I would switch it because I thought if you're a rapist, you're like a vampire because you're violating people when you're like, drinking their blood and you're taking it from their neck.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot the exact thing, but like either rapists were either werewolves or centaurs. Which centaur, like, I don't get like why that's even a thing.
That's not evil, half human, half horse, man. You can just no
or
way.
If you're a pedophile, you're a centaur. But then, like, why does that make you a centaur? Or horses? I don't know.
The guy hated. There's two things the author hated: horses and pedophiles. He just put them both together.
Yeah, so like that's an interesting comic. But yeah, I came across. See, the way I always find things is people are always asking me like, "Oh, how do you find things?" With manga, I feel it's a bit easy because if you go on my enemy list, or I mean, if you use kind of illegal websites, a lot of them do have like advanced genre filters. So like I know what I like. So I essentially go through that, and then a lot of websites have a recommended reading, or you like this, and I kind of just go through these rabbit holes. Another great method for me, at least in terms of anime, if I liked a certain director or even voice actor, I would look up their roles and like try to find like everything they've been attached to. And that's, I feel like, for anime and manga is a very great way to like expand your horizons and like really get out there and find things that are not necessarily that talked about that much, which I feel more than ever. I feel people kind of need to like look back to the past. Just because like I feel like nowadays with anime and manga, it's so much of like just seasonal stuff,
Yeah, I mean, the seasonal stuff never made sense to me. I'm like, what? Like, who's putting a gun to your head to watch everything? Just like watch everything.
If you're an anime content creator,
I get that. But if you're just the average Joe like anime watcher, like, why are you only like limiting to yourself to what's coming up next season? I get it. You need to talk to people, but like, there's a whole there's so many. There's decades upon decades of anime series. Like, come on, like. Explore those, man. Like,
yeah, especially when people are like, I don't know what to watch. I'm like, if you just go to a series from the 90s, it's probably finished by now, so you have like 5 seasons and movies to watch. Yeah. There you go. You problem solved. Go watch Slayers, or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I had an anime club. We both had anime clubs.
Yes. Mine was very apathetic, so like I can't really say much. But yeah, yours is a very interesting case study on like what.
Yeah, mine like I've hinted about it previously, but I really learned a lot about anime.
The average Joe anime fan. Yeah,
because like most of the anime fans I interacted with were either people I knew online, like myself, or the anime hero, who at the time had very similar tastes in what we enjoyed. Or of course, everyone I talked to on YouTube, which obviously if they're watching my videos, they were interested in stuff I was talking about. I hadn't really necessarily talked to that many more, like, I don't want to sound like too like elitist, but like more normie fans, people that didn't really care about the studio or the director or like inspiration behind the series. People that just wanted cool stuff from Japan.
Yeah.
Which, we all started that way.
True.
So it's like whatever. But it's like some people never leave that phase. They're just in that phase. They might kind of branch out, but for the most part, they're kind of like, and I feel like the seasonal kind of like prison is what keeps them that way. Like, oh, why go back when like there's 10 other series I'm probably going to watch, next season.
Yeah, I never got, because like, out of those, I get giving everything a try, but like, at some point you gotta know what you like. Like, granted, there'll always be a surprise here and there, but I think you would find that eventually. And like, just, I don't know. It just never made sense to me. I just read and watch whatever from whatever era whenever I feel like it. It just makes more sense to me to do it like that.
I feel that's the best.
Yeah.
But...
I'm watching Trigun right now and Fujiko Mine. And so both from different eras, and I enjoy both. So I don't really understand this whole I have to keep on top of everything, and then we create the cycle, and then.
And only that, I feel like it makes people forget things. Because I remember, I think last year, My Dress Up Darling came out, which, was a show no one could shut up about, posting gifs about, that one about, the cosplayer girl. Which I eventually watched, and I actually thought it was actually rather nice show with a nice romance, and, really cared about, the whole essence of cosplaying. A good show. I completely forgot that show actually came out last year in 2022. Granted, it was the beginning of the year, but because everyone's the waifu of the season, how that just gets thrown in the dumpster as soon as the new season starts. And there were so many anime because Crunchyroll had the Crunchyroll awards ceremony thing. Which is weird because apparently they don't count the animes that come out in October for some reason. Those show up the following year.
Oh, okay.
So there was no Chainsaw Man in the Crunchyroll World Awards at all, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be but it'll be in the 2023 Crunchyroll Awards.
I'm guessing if I read that what they said correctly, which is also going to be weird because I feel like that always means an anime is going to be snubbed. And again, the way people's minds and processes work. At least from what I've been seeing with the whole kind of seasonal decay, you could say. I think people kind of forget things.
Yeah, I think it's because in October, chances are that series is gonna go past December, if it's a 12 episode or 24 episode anime. So maybe that's why.
Maybe I guess I don't know how long it takes for these awards. By the time they announced the nominations, Chainsaw Man was already over. For a good couple weeks. So I don't know why it couldn't have been on the list. I don't know their decision behind that. I don't work at Crunchyroll, unfortunately, because I would
also,
like to get that
Darling
money.
Came out in 2022. I thought it came out 2019 or something. Jeez.
Yeah, but see, again, people we have these animes that are hyped up, and I feel like a lot of them don't have that impact because I don't think you watched the Cyberpunk anime, right?
No.
Okay, so when that anime came out, everyone was making videos for it. Oh, it impacted me. Oh, this is what anime should be, blah, blah, blah. And that also could be the fact that it just came out on Netflix all at once. So no one really had that weekly
that's the
build-up.
Netflix effect. People talk about it for a week and then it's gone.
Yeah, but I feel with a seasonal thing, it's kind of like that too, but just for a season. Everyone, it's no one will shut up about this series for the particular season for a couple months, however long the season is, or 2-3 months, and then it'll be oh, okay, my new best friend is this show. Oh, Chainsaw Man ended. My new best friend's Trigun Stampede, something like that, which is just I feel is kind of sucky, but that might just speak larger because I feel almost everything is kind of like that. Movies are kind of like that.
Yeah, true, but I feel, I don't know, it's very predominant in anime, which I don't like. I met someone at a game store who, he forces himself to watch shows that he would never particularly watch by himself because he doesn't really, he's not interested in that genre or that type of show. But he does it because that's what the majority of his anime fans, friends, talk about. So he has
Bro, that sounds miserable.
Yeah, that sounds really sad. Yeah, he would watch.
Why would you?
He said, "I would rather watch trash isekai all day." I'm like, "You like trash isekai?
No." Just watch a normal fucking fantasy anime.
Bro, by the way, okay, this is something I've noticed. There are a lot of isekai fans, and I tell them to their face, most of your genre is trash, right? Like, most of your shows that come out are trash. I say it to their face, they're like, oh yeah, we know, we accept it. Yep, we don't care. We know what we're getting, and we like it.
See, I'm not like a total isekai like hater or like, because I know there's some people, they see the word isekai and they're like, nope, I don't care.
I get disinterested. I'm like, oh, sigh, really? Okay.
For me, it's like it's definitely not going to like you're not going to win any points from me for being an isekai, but like if the premise is interesting enough, because like right now, isekai is really grasping at straws for like a concept. I feel.
Yeah. I, as a joke, mentioned the one that you're a vending machine in another world isekai. He literally on the spot took out his phone and he's like, "What is that again?" And is like you wanted to like bookmark it so you can read it later.
Oh god.
Like, see, this is their fan base, man.
It's like I don't get it. And I'm like, and then I try recommending them a series like, oh, it's from the early 2000s. It's too old. I'm like,
there's gonna be actually no. If I am right, there's gonna be like comments like, yes, we know it's trash, but we love it.
Well, see, because like I know it's like it's hard getting people into older anime because then like if it's not the older animation, it's the older audio. It's like it's a never winning bet. Yeah, because like obviously it's not as crisp and clear as modern day.
I've never had that thought.
If you watch like an anime from the 70s, like I guess there's some audio snobs out there.
I get the animation.
There's always
part,
an excuse.
Like, for me, it was also like a thing I had to go over. Like I wouldn't go. Like I had a rule. I'm not gonna go past the 90s. But I have done it, and I thank God I did. But like, I understand that. But audio, okay, that's new to me. I never heard of that before.
I feel like when it comes to getting into like older anime, there's always like some fucking excuse for a lot of people. Okay. When I'm just like, I feel it's always like a barrier to overcome. Because as much as I love Go Nagai, I remember when I first read Go Nagai manga, I was just kind of like, this art style fucking sucks. And this is coming from me, and yeah. I love Go Nagai. I love all of his art styles from like from his earlier years to like where he's at now. I think he's a fantastic artist. Probably one of my favorite people in the industry. All due praises to Go Nagai. And I feel it's just barriers you got to overcome. But like I don't want to like really force older stuff down people's because it's not like a vitamin or something. But I feel you enrich yourself as an anime fan.
At least to be open to the idea. But I get it. It's your viewing experience. It's subjective. It's your entertainment at the end of the day. But like. Again, like it's that thing. It's about the enrichment that's like you don't get. But like, hey, that's your choice if you don't want to get that.
And I also feel like if you just get it, like watch a couple episodes, get used to it. I feel like you'd have more room for your entertainment because, like, again, seasonal series only like last for so long, and like I've seen so many newer anime fans being like, "Oh, there's nothing to watch. Recommend me something." It's like, dude, there's go to Mr.FalconPunch channel. He has dozens of recommend. No,
I never understand. There's so much like okay, this is something we've talked about off topic, but like for anything, like unless the medium you are trying to get entertainment from is new. Like I don't know if you're like really into like I don't know VR games. Like okay, I get it. You have a limited pool of things to like choose from. But if you're into like comic books, anime, movies, TV shows, bruh, you have decades upon decades, almost a century's worth of like things to pull from. In some of these cases, like. But there's so much. Just expand your horizons, dude. Don't think about like, oh, it has to be now. Like, go back, man.
Yeah, even genre. Like in my anime club, I made the thing to show them like anime from a variety of different time periods and whatever. Every week when we had a meeting, we had like I think 2 meetings a week, but only one of them we actually like showed anime. The rest was all discussion and having a good time. So like I would show like two different animes, and one I made sure was more modern, like a certified banger for them, and the other one would be kind of like my own agenda. Like, oh, I'm just gonna make them watch Shungeru Robo over here. I'll make them watch Silverfang, or two very degrees of success. Obviously, the way older series. And I would always hear that hot take. I was like, yeah, that Trigun anime was good, but like it kind of looked like ass. I'm like, look like ass. Like, what the fuck? Like, you could just say it looked older or retro. You didn't have to say just because it's old doesn't automatically equate it to looking like ass.
I'm watching it. It doesn't look like ass at all. It looks awesome. Like
even as a massive fan of it, there is a couple scenes that are not that well animated.
But every anime has that.
Like, every anime is like that. It's just, I don't know. And then it's, again, I'm not trying to force feed people on this, and I'm pretty sure most of the people listening to this, if you're on my channel, you're kind of into old shit anyways.
Yeah.
If you're not, welcome aboard.
Yeah, we've been insulting you for the past half an hour.
I hope it doesn't come off as insulting. It's just, because I knew this one guy. I would show him all these animes, and he'd be like, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to go back and watch Dragon Ball Z again. I'm like, again? He and the thing is, I never understood. I don't get how Dragon Ball Z gets so many passes. Dragon Ball Z is like, and depending if they actually watch Dragon Ball 2. Dragon Ball is like 80s, Dragon Ball Z is 90s.
Yeah.
Why can't you watch other anime from that era? Because like sometimes I'll show them other 90s series that debatably look better. No, it's too old. Like I remember I tried showing someone the Devilman OVAs, which are like immaculately animated. Like they're really good looking. There's a couple scenes that I think are probably some of the most well animated scenes I've seen. In the original Devilman OVAs. I tried showing it to them because they were interested in Devilman. And they're like, oh, I don't know, man. It looks a little too old. And I'm like, but you were just talking to me about how much you love about like watching Dragon Ball Z. And like, Dragon Ball Z is not like an animated masterpiece. I mean, yeah, there's some good looking shots and scenes, but it's not like, Sakuga overload.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish honestly that the modern Devilman we got looked like the OVAs. Actually, I prefer the OVAs over the modern.
Yeah, as much as I like Yuasa Masaki and I enjoyed aspects of Devilman Crybaby, I feel like I'm slightly more harsher on it just because I love Devilman so much, and for so many people that's just going to be definitive Devilman, despite us having the manga now fully available in official English.
Yes. Go read more official English, my pretties.
yeah. So
that's my agenda.
Yeah, maybe give us some guided view.
Oh, that. Now you're gonna get me horny, Shane. Don't stop. Yeah.
Well, okay. So it would be interesting to see because the Gona guy has some like pretty crazy paneling, so I'd be kind of curious to see like.
How they do it. Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Would work in a guided format. Because, like, I know, like, for Tezuka, there were, like, some series where I'm like, no, this can't be guided. Like, you really just have to read it. Because, like, the way in some series, it's like, the panels are in, like, the middle of the page, and, like, everything else is negative space, but it's, like, for the sake of the scene.
Oh, okay. That'd be... Yeah. I think it would have to be specifically guided. Like, a person would have to read through and be like, okay, your eyes have to go here first, then here, then here, then here.
Yeah, because there's certain manga where, like, even, like, the original Kamen Rider manga, there's, like, so much movement in it that I feel like to truly appreciate it, you just have to, like, actually look at it the way it's intended.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, it might be interesting, because I know in the original Kamen Rider manga, there's, like, this amazing fight scene between Ryder and Batman, who's just a giant bat creature. He doesn't mean
DC Batman. He's just like literally like a bat creature who's like.
I'm waiting for that crossover.
I mean, we got Batman TMNT, Batman the Shadow, Batman, and like Justice League and Power Rangers.
If you could fucking crossover Scooby-Doo, you're ready to crossover fucking Kamen Rider. It's all about justice and vengeance, baby.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I talked about it in my video, but basically Batman swoops in, picks up Kamen Rider, and lifts him to the sky. And it's like I think if I counted correctly, it's like 11 panels of like Kamen Rider escaping Batman and then like falling in the sky, doing a couple flips, landing on the ground, then jumping back up and then like kicking Batman. And it's just like 11 panels just strictly dedicated to that movement. And like, I've never seen a manga dedicate that much time to, like, besides maybe like One Punch Man for like, you know, that one chapter that reads basically like an animatic. But besides that, I've never seen like a manga like pay so much attention to like the movement of the scene, or like have a character have so much like kinetic energy, and people are like, "Oh no, it's too old." And I'm like, "Fuck you." It looks too old. Fuck you, man.
Jeez. Oh god. Anyway, we veered very much like off topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the main topic of like manga and comic books learning from each other. There's one thing that has always bothered me. And I don't know if Shaheen feels the same way. We'll know right now, I guess, that I've always felt comic books should I like the way Battle Shonen does their fight scenes, because it feels like a chess game. They last for quite a while. It feels like, you know, they're matching each other blow for blow. They're trying to like strategize around the powers they have to how to defeat the other person. The other person is countering it, and like then they feel so epic and massive. Like, I mean, Luffy versus Katakuri was 19 chapters. And then you know, not a single comic book fight I can mention gets even close to that. And like, okay, you're like, okay, you know what, 19 chapters is too much, and you can't compare One Piece and like superhero comics. I'm like, okay, MHA, All Might versus All for One, 6 chapters. Deku versus Overhaul, 4 chapters. Like, still, like, the best you're gonna get is a few pages from a Western superhero comic. And that's just like, man, like, not to say they aren't awesome, they are, but like, dude, the epicness they could reach. Like, Wolverine and Sabretooth have this one fight, and I think it's Uncanny X-Men 213. You can find it there. Wolverine and Sabretooth have this awesome fight illustrated by Alan Davis, and like, it is awesome, it is brutal, it is bloody, but it ends in a few pages. I'm like, man, if this was like at least an issue long or 2 issues long of like them trying to like counter each other with their like, you know, knife hands and like there's whatever spiky fingers and their healing ability and their like, you know, martial arts and whatever, like it would have been awesome. I'm getting like goosebumps right now just thinking about like how awesome that fight could be. But no, you just get a few pages and like that's all you get, and like, man, that would be just so awesome to see in like a Battle Shonen style like fight scene.
Yeah, I guess I've been noticing that too. Like the other night, I was reading Thor, what's his name, Walt Simonson.
Yeah, Walt Simonson, one of the best Thor runs ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So like right now, or at least where I was at last night, it's when he meets Beta Ray Bill. Who I don't think he was introduced in the MCU. I think he got like a cameo, but I don't. Yeah, think
he got like there was a statue with his face on it. Like that's it. Like the Force,
which is a damn shame. I feel like
I think they'll introduce him at some point. He's way too big.
I don't know. I feel like Thor is kind of done in the MCU. I don't know.
He's still there. He's not like dead or anything.
Yeah, I guess, but like I think they're going to be focusing more on like the newer hero. It's going to be a while until we get another Thor movie. I'm not sure if Chris Hemsworth still wants to be Thor, because it's a big commitment. I mean, it's good money, but like,
but anyways, back to Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah. So like, side with Beta Ray Bill. So basically, to quickly summarize, he meets Thor, wants his power so he could go defeat the demons that took over his planet. So the two team up. Beta Ray Bill, through some trials and tribulations, winds up getting his own Thor hammer, so he also has the same powers as Thor, and they go off to his planet to fight the demons.
Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, Beta Ray Bill is like this horse-faced alien-looking person, but like, but he has like the Thor outfit and like the Thor hammer, basically.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to get more into his appearance later, because there's a thing that I just discovered and I don't know how to feel about it.
Oh, really? Okay. So, by the way, just so you know, I haven't read this, so like I just know like from like, you know, like like word of mouth, like what this thing has and everything. This
Right. I mean, if you ever watch like Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes,
I think he shows up in that.
Yeah,
but it's been a while.
I think that's the first time that show was really good with like prepping me up for the MCU because I'm like, oh, now I know the Guardians of the Galaxy and Ultron like years before.
If you want, like, if you're not into like live action MCU, watch Spectacular Spider-Man and Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Best thing Marvel animation has ever produced. Maybe even the Fantastic Four show, but I don't remember much of it, so I'll have to see. Other than, like, of course, like the X-Men evolution and 90s X-Men and all of that. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so like they go off to his his planet infested by demons, and like it's a couple pages. They just smack a couple demons with their hammers, and then it's like, hooray, we have saved the day. Praise both of us.
See, if this was a manga, that whole fight with the demons would be like an arc in itself.
Yeah, like that could have been like like again, it's like their planet was taken over by a demon. This is a planet you have to go wipe out. It's like smack, smack, kapow, zap, kazap. Okay, hooray, praise us. Let us drink mead.
Oh, that's what they call it. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say ale, but I'm like, no, I think it's mead is what they're drinking. Also, getting to Beta Ray Bill, I just found out. I thought he was always like a lizard horseman looking dude.
Yeah.
It turns out he was made to look that way by his planet because they were trying to find like to make the ultimate warrior, so they had to go through like all this mental and physical training. So the way he looks is because of that. And apparently, his whole kind, like, while they're glad he's their savior, they don't like looking at him, and they kind of like distance themselves from him because he looks terrifying. And so
you
Odin,
made him like that. What the fuck?
yeah, exactly. It's like it's your fucking fault. Like, geez, you made the savior of planet. And you're like, nah, bro, you too ugly. You gotta like not look at us in the face. Here, I'm gonna give you a spaceship called the Scuttlebutt. Get the fuck out of here. So, anyways,
that I didn't know that myself. Jeez, that is
So then, when Odin finds out about this, Odin's like, "Fine, I shall like let you." Kind of like. That's how they explain that Thor doesn't have to transform into like Donald Blake anymore. They give that ability to Beta Ray Bill, so he could like tap the hammer, like the wooden staff on the ground. He'll transform into his like original form, and basically he looks like a giant buff orange handsome Squidward without the nose.
Oh
my god, no, go back. Go back to being a lizard horseman. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, you look cool like a horse with a horse face, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, women won't touch me. But like, I mean, maybe in your planet, but I'm like, you look a little scary. You freak me out more than this.
Oh,
uncanny.
Jeez.
So like, I was shocked. Yeah.
Like, okay, a horse face not being handsome aside, for some. Wow, orange Squidward. God, okay.
Orange handsome Squidward.
Orange handsome Squidward. Yeah, orange handsome Squidward. My bad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but like, see, that's my thing. Like, it was like, couldn't make it longer, couldn't make it more special. But apparently, I don't know. I've talked to some other comic book people about this. They're like, oh, it'd be too long, man. Like, I want it to be like fast and quick. I'm like, really? Okay, jeez.
See, I'm curious though, because again, I guess there is monthly manga that have action. I was saying, like, maybe it's like the monthly format that might diminish it, because then you'll be like, oh wow, I just waited a whole month to see a guy throw a punch at another dude.
Maybe, that's why.
But then no, monthly manga, because I've read plenty of series that are monthly, and like that doesn't really affect it. Yeah, so I don't know. From the comics I've read, which have been like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, which has been very hit and miss for me, Thor, and then like I've gone back and like I'm trying to read Spider-Man from the beginning.
You don't have to, but that's what he chose. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to. I just because I like Spider-Man enough as a character, and also I've heard from like a lot of the newer incarnations of Spider-Man, he's kind of a bitch.
I mean, Peter
they've kind of made him a bitch by
Oh, you mean? Oh wait, like he's an asshole, or he's like losing and or what? Like what's the
both?
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, see, that's the thing about it being a comic book character. It almost is like an internal damnation.
Yeah.
When it's just you are not allowed to develop. You have development, and then an editor could come in and be like, "Yeah, you know what? I don't really like Mary Jane. Fuck her. Just Sins Past."
Yeah. Yeah. No, not since
God,
past. One more day.
One more day. Well, that kind of factors into the whole like "fuck you, Spider-Man." Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Spider-Man has been fucked over a lot.
oh god, I just the other day I actually looked up what Sense Pass was all about, and I kind of regret it.
Yeah, I told you what it was. You didn't.
Yeah, but like then hearing the full, I watched the Comic Pop episode on it. And I'm like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah.
And then like the other one, like the sequel to One More Day.
By the way,
moment in time.
Yeah, omit. Yeah, one moment in time.
God, fuck all that.
Yeah, that's how most Spider-Man fans feel.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah, those are one of the worst Spider-Man stories ever. Although they did recently, in Nick Spencer's Spider-Man run, retcon the Since Past out. But One More Day and Omit still exist. So, yeah. So Gwen Stacy never cheated on... Spoilers, everybody. Gwen Stacy never cheated on Peter. So, like, thank God for that. Yeah.
No, spoiler. No, this is things you need to hear to avoid this. Apparently, Gwen Stacy fucking cheated on Peter with Norman Osborn, like,
Green Goblin,
like this
himself.
old psychopath old man. I'm like,
who for some reason was rendered like Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, I'm just. It is so frustrating. I'm like, why? How? Yeah. Just.
I like how you haven't even Peter read that far, and you already.
Because it's like I just want Spider-Man to be happy. I understand the whole Parker Luck thing. I understand Parker Luck, but like, just let him have a wife and kid. Like, just like because apparently there's a lot of Spider-Man writers that are just like, no, he has to be in a love triangle. I'm like, he doesn't. Let him grow. Go write an Archie comic if you want that so much. Like, just focus on Peter as a character.
Yeah. I've read more than you, but like, I still, like, even me, like, I'm like, just like have him with Mary Jane. That's what most, like, the average was like, oh yeah, like Clark Kent has Lois Lane.
I didn't know who Gwen Stacy was for a very long time as someone that really? Only because as someone that watched like more of the cartoons and everything, like, I think until Spectacular Spider-Man, I hadn't heard of like Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, because she's not a thing until Spectacular. Yeah, that thing that's probably where even I heard of her first.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, there's other girls? I thought it was just Mary Jane. You mean like my man has game?
He does. Yes, he does.
Yeah. So it's like I feel like that's good for like a moment in time in Peter's life, but like. I don't know. It's like, oh, Peter feels too old, but I'm like, most of the people reading the comic books are like probably that age anyways.
Yeah. Most people like grew up with it or probably have like
and
a wife.
Kids probably want him to be with Mary Jane because that's what they're accustomed to. You put him up with like Black Cat or Liz Thompson or Betty, whatever her name was.
Betty Brant? No.
I was going to say Betty Boop, but that's something else.
That's something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's a thing that a lot of people complain about, and it's just they won't let him.
Is Superman still married to Lois Lane? Is that like still a thing in the comics?
He is. That he's still married to Lois Lane. That's not changed, but like there was a period there where it looked like they were going to do the same thing to him. They're going to One More Day Superman.
Oh no, not for poor Superman.
Not my blue boy, please. No.
I sincerely want the DC headquarters to be like, listen, gotta stop.
Yeah, but look, so we're past that now. He's safe for the most part right now because he's gotten more kids.
More kids, like
more kids
that are actually his, or he just adopted them?
Oh, he adopted. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's Jonathan Kent. There's a whole Superman family, like the whole super family, actually. I sent you the picture of. There's,
yeah, right.
There's Superman, Connor Kent Superboy, Jonathan Kent Superboy, the two Superboys. Then there's two twins he adopted from another planet, Power Girl, Supergirl, and I think that's it. That's 7. Yeah.
Which one's the blood-related one?
Jonathan Kent.
Okay.
That's the blood child of Lois and Clark. Yeah.
And he's powered?
Yes, he has powers. Yes, he has.
Oh, okay.
Connor Kent is a clone who's a mixture of Clark Kent's DNA and Lex Luthor's DNA.
Supergirl and Power Girl are both his cousins. One's from a different multiverse, a different universe, but not different multiverse. She's part like from the multiverse. She's like from a different Earth. Yeah,
That's interesting. I'm your cousin from another
her Earth. Yes,
another Earth. I'm like,
Another
oh,
Earth.
okay.
Yeah.
That's,
So yeah, there you go. That's how it is. Yeah. So like, I mean, to be honest, all of them have families. I told you, like Superman has family, Batman has a family.
Right.
It's a Bat family. Flash is a family, and I love that family. If it goes away, I will murder people.
The Bat family, I feel like there's some of them where
It's
I'm just
too
kind of
much.
like,
It's too much. I agree.
like if there's a new guy named Signal, I'm like, does he actually show up nowadays, or was it just he debuted and then he fucked off?
So, oh god, if you want to get into that, the writer for him, Scott Snyder, made him as a blank slate for writers to do to him, Signal was an idea. Like that's what he was. He was an idea. Basically, he wanted a character like, what if we gave a character as a blank slate and future writers could do whatever we want? Let's see what that evolves to do. Basically, like an experiment. Nobody gave a shit though. So because like who gives a shit about Signal? Because like we already have like 5 Robins to deal with. We can't handle basically another Robin just without the name. So yeah.
He's the one that like wears the yellow, right?
Where's the yellow? Yeah. Apparently he got superpowers recently in this cool book called Batman and the Outsiders. But again, I haven't read it, so I can't say. But that's what I heard. Yeah.
I see.
And
I
like
don't
that,
know how to feel about like a powered person being
it's still street level, but he has powers. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, like kind of like Daredevil. Like Daredevil kind of has powers with his radar sense, but but it's still like, it's not powerful enough to like go to space and shit. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not like he could shoot blasts of energy or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah. He has
it
some
always
sort of
confuses me because like Iron Fist is like street level, but like he has a little bit. I don't know. I feel like he borders
Iron
a
Fist
bit.
can tiptoe between, but he's mostly does the martial arts thing. That's why he like.
Because I read one Iron Fist comic and he basically punches a train off the tracks. So I'm kind of like, I feel like.
I mean, Spider-Man is powerful. Like he has
That's
super
true.
strength. He has
Yes.
super strength. He can lift a car and a truck and
Yeah.
throw it. Well, like still he's street level. So like it changes to whatever the writer wants.
Yeah,
it
it
to be.
depends. Yeah, because like I personally prefer Spider-Man being street level, but like, and then if they need him to be on the Avengers, he could go do that.
Yeah. So it's the same thing basically. Like Iron Fist and
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Like the power levels can increase or decrease depending on what the writer wants to do. Yeah.
I guess that's true. Because like I was thinking of Iron Fist. I'm like, if you could just punch a train, like why can't you just like decapitate Kingpin at that point?
Because he's a
if you're that
hero.
strong?
He's not going to do that.
I mean, okay, not like obviously like not decapitate, but like like why is he such a threat to you? Well, then again, I don't know. See, that's the problem of having a universe too big. Because I'm like, how have like Ghost Rider or Punisher not like kill Kingpin by now?
Punisher has gotten up. Punisher has killed Kingpin in the Max.
Oh,
line.
he has.
In the
Oh,
Max
okay.
line. Yeah, because like of course he can't do that in the main universe
Yeah.
because the Max line is out of continuity. So yeah,
Right.
And so I mean so Ghost Rider, why hasn't he? I don't know. They're all in New York. I don't get it. At least in DC, they're in separate cities.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah, like, well, see, then also like with some things for like Batman, for example, or even like with like I remember I was like listening to like the whole how Red Hood played out in the comic because I only watched the movie. I was listening to that.
I've
and,
only
like,
watched the movie. I haven't read it myself yet. But
apparently
I know
the comic
story.
there's a lot of different things that happen in the comic.
Yeah.
There's
The-
like
the-
certain
the
situations where like
movie
if you
is,
just called.
It's by the
Oh,
same
yeah.
writer, but it's like a very condensed, like easily to digest version. But yeah, the comic it's more complicated because there's a lot more continuity things to
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because like he technically comes back because of Superboy punching reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still hilarious.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, there's certain things like more Batman central storylines where I'm like, if you just ask Wonder Woman or Superman, like
he
this
won't.
Story
He's way
would
too.
be-
He doesn't like other heroes that he hasn't sanctioned himself to be. Like if it's not a Robin, he doesn't like it. Like
I see, because like there's certain things I'm like, if you just called Superman over, or if you just had Wonder Woman use the lash of truth on this one guy,
He won't. He won't. He has to do it himself. He's a control.
But
freak.
you'd save
Batman
lives so
is
much faster.
Batman is a control freak. It's his city. It's his responsibility. He has to do it. Which is also a great like writing way to like. Why won't Batman just do this? Well, because he's insane. That's why he's an insane control freak. He has to do it.
I guess, but I think that's the problem with having like universes so
I was
big. You're just
reading. So there's this one spin-off Batman comic called Batman Chronicle, where it's like they do like again side stories for the Gotham characters. Robin had one where Superman was trailing a gang from Metropolis to Gotham. He comes to Gotham, meets Robin, and he's like, Robin, where's Batman? Oh, he's not here. He's gone overseas somewhere. He's like, oh, okay. So there's this gang I've been following, and they're here in Gotham, and I need to like stop them because they're funneling guns into Metropolis, and it's causing a real problem. Do I have permission to operate in Gotham? He's like, what? Why are you asking for permission? You're Superman. I'm like, yeah, but Batman doesn't like me being here in Gotham, and since he's not here, you're next in command.
Bruh.
So Robin has to give Superman permission to operate in Gotham and let him they both team up and handle the gun gang thing. And I'm like, jeez, dude, wow.
But this, like, Superman's like not like that. Like, if Batman came over, like, Superman would be like...
he would, I think, if they're friends, he wouldn't mind. Like, if they know each other, like, okay, Batman's here. Like, okay, I get it. He would appreciate a heads up, though. He wouldn't like it if he just came in, like, sneakily. But he gave a heads up, like, hey, Clark, I'm coming. Like, he'd be fine with it.
Well, then again, if it's already in Superman City, like, I think Superman...
Yeah, Superman's got it, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the Joker wandered off to Metropolis. It's okay, I got it.
I mean, in the Superman animated series, he didn't like it because again, they didn't know each other and just like showed up and he's like,
right?
Why are you
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But now, assuming that they're, I see that's the only thing when like you have like these giant universes of all these characters. I'm like, for the more street level characters, I'm like, dude, like, how does this guy how does he keep on getting away? Just call like the big.
Yeah. I mean, for Batman, it's like a control freak thing, and then I mean, they're all in different cities. I mean, like the fact that they have their own books going on with their own like individual stories while they're in a Justice League book and they're going off into space, like that happens. So, like, come on,
right?
Like, just don't think about it too much. You're thinking about it too much.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
it's
Batman
just like I don't know the whole thing with Punisher.
The Joker Monday went to space Tuesday with the Justice League. Okay, he's a very busy man.
That's true. Yeah, it's just like at least in Marvel's sense, I'm like, why haven't like some of these other guys just like killed Kingpin?
Maybe because it's a Lex Luthor thing, like they can't, because like he hasn't technically, you can't legally prove he's done a crime yet or something.
Well, I don't know. I feel like because like Lex Luthor is still like a businessman, right?
He is, but he's really shady, and Superman can't just punch him because he uses like the loopholes in the law and capital. And the
I feel that that makes
like,
more sense, but like at least because I know Kingpin eventually tries running for president, but like he still is a known crime boss. Like I feel like that's a lot harder to justify. There are police officers being like, "Man, I wish I could kill him," but like then my family would be murdered. But I'm like, for someone like Punisher, there's like, I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to kill crime. I'm like, what's just stopping him? Just like break on in and just like shotgun him in the face.
I mean, because Kingpin makes, he's one of the like awesome villains that they need, so they can't just kill him. Right. That's the real reason.
Yeah, that's deep down I know. It's just narratively, I'm like, or like Punisher or like Ghost Rider, who like the moment he sees like the blood of innocent, he's just like just spilled. Like, as soon as innocent blood is spilled, he just like morphs into Ghost Rider.
Yeah, also, like, shit, what was it? Fuck, I forgot my train of thought. Like, yeah, because, like, editorially, like, you can't kill him. So, like, that's the thing. Yeah.
That's true. I guess that's the biggest thing. You can't.
Yeah.
Which, I guess that's the price, again, you have to pay for being a comic book character. You just become too big.
Yeah.
And then certain things can't change about you. Like, narratively, it would make sense for someone to eventually kill Kingpin, but he's a comic book character. People like Kingpin. He produces great stories, so he's got a... And, like, Spider-Man has forever gotten to be in this weird place where it's just like, I'm a sad nerd loser.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, even with Superman, there are people that, like... The majority of them, I believe, like him having a kid and stuff. They don't like the kids, like, aged up now. Like, he went from, like, being 10 years old, or 8 or 10 years old to, like, a 20-year-old. because of artificial reasons, because of Bendis, which is a whole other conversation.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. But like, there is a good section of like Superman fans. I'm pretty sure that you can find that like, no, I don't like him being married. No, I don't like him having a son. I want him to stay just as
But like, why?
Superman. They just
Because he's still Superman. Nothing gets taken away. Like
they
it
feel
enriches his
him
character.
They feel for whatever reason it like complicates his life or whatever. That like
Being a
him
superhero is always complicated.
You're adding further complications, like especially when you have like a kid, because then like, oh wait, how old are you actually? And then the kid has to grow up, and then like, well, if the kid grows up, how old? It just becomes like this age thing, which I get, but I'm like, again, you're thinking about it too much. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We can like increase. Also, this is a superhero world where people come back to life and shit. I'm pretty sure we can make a de-aging machine somewhere, or a de-aging magic thing, and then like we can have like literally like. You don't know this, by the way. Magneto turned into a baby in X-Men and then became an adult again.
What?
Yes. Because they had to solve the problem of like, this guy has been here since World War II. He's gonna.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a like, Holocaust survivor. So like, how would we justify his age? So like,
if he's still alive today, he'd be like a decrepit old man.
Man. Exactly. So it's like, okay, they do a storyline, he turns into a baby, then after a while he turns back into... So like, you know, it kind of like mitigates the whole aging problem. But like, yeah, it's...
Yeah. I thought they would have done some like BS excuse where you would have like, oh, the magnetism keeps me young. But then that wouldn't really explain everyone else.
The magnetism keeps me young.
Yeah, that wouldn't explain like Xavier, like how's he still...
Yeah. So that's how it is. So like, yeah.
And again, the whole timeline doesn't make sense because what happened in the 70s, oh, that was 5 years ago. I'm like,
and also like for Punisher, they keep changing which war, like because in the 80s it was Vietnam, then it was Iraq, because like, you know, they had to like modernize it and they had to update it. Otherwise, because if it's Vietnam, you should be an old man by now.
Right.
So like nowadays it's just like he was in a war. Which war doesn't matter.
Whatever the most recent war.
Yeah, whatever is the most recent war that America participated in. Yes, he was there.
Yeah, I guess Captain America lucked out in that sense. It's like, nope, we got frozen in time. I'm in the modern era.
America's evergreen because like he got frozen in time. We can make him be in ice for as long as we need him to be until he gets thawed out.
The backstory could essentially just stay the same as long as like it's just whenever he gets unthawed will change.
Yeah. There we go. That's it. Yes.
Yeah. Were there cell phones around that time? That's okay.
There you go. But again, it's like it's a problem. I think if you think about it too much, it becomes a problem. If you don't, if you just enjoy the stories, it's not really a problem.
Yeah, I guess like that's one thing. It's like with comic books, which kind of sucks because there are a lot of comics that try like tackling heavier issues and everything like that. But then at the same time, like the world is so just wacky, riddled with like the craziest bullshit imaginable. It's like, well, I want to think about this story, but then if I think too much about certain other elements, I'm like, what the fuck? Why didn't you just do
pull that one thread, the whole like sweater falls apart. So like,
Also, you really just have to make your head canon for.
Also,
everything.
they still try and attempt to like tackle like for example, I read a 2-part Superman story in continuity where he tries to deal with domestic violence, and it's like, that was difficult to deal with because Superman technically couldn't do anything. Like even if he stops the husband, the wife is so brainwashed by the husband and the beating that she calls the police on Superman, not like the husband.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, they still tackle from time to time complicated issues, but yeah, again, it's a superhero story. They're gonna fight supervillains. That's gonna be the main thing. Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, you know, comics are fantastic.
Yes.
No matter what part of the world they come from.
Yes, manga or comic. Yeah. Or manhwa or manhua for Chinese.
Yeah. Right. Even French comics, I've seen a few that look pretty interesting.
What is European it? What's comics. That called? Baguette manga? Is that what it's called?
Can I see not see you? That's a little. Baguette manga. I mean, I guess that'd be an interesting magazine. Newest is Baguette magazine. French man.
Don't they have one called Last Man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I watched the animated series of that.
Yeah,
and
the
then-
comic book is coming out now, so like you can go read it and officially translated.
I've seen a few French animation. They're pretty good. I need to dive more into that. But anyways, comics are great. Go read some. No matter where they come from, it's a great medium for storytelling. But we had a couple other topics. I
don't think we have time for those. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely. So next episode, just to tell you, because that one we definitely do have a topic where we might just expand it a little bit. I know Hamza has one thing he's definitely wants to talk about.
Yes, this is slander as far as I'm concerned. What the Toku community has done, and I'm going to set it straight.
Yeah, we're going to make this one for the Toku fans. We'll make that one Tokusatsu hot takes. We'll just have a whole podcast of that. I know Hamza has a couple pretty big ones.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll go into that. But so if you have any questions or topics you want us to see us tackle on the Punchcast, feel free to leave a comment below or maybe send us a message on Twitter. With that, I think we'll actually wrap up this podcast. This has been like the Punchcast Reloaded Resurgence.
What other
title they use?
What has Hollywood used? Yeah,
Requiem or
Rebirth.
DC has used that. Yeah. So
yeah, Punchcast Rebirth Episode 1. Yeah, I'm not using the legacy numbers.
We're going full comic book here, folks. Yes.
Yeah, this is the new.
But as soon as Shaheen hits, like, I don't know, episode 50 of this, he'll be like, oh no, it's technically the 50th episode because we did like 3 episodes before, so it's not 47, it's 50. So therefore, we're going. I don't know what special thing you will do, but whatever.
We'll do a live stream.
Oh, okay, that's.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm hoping to make this bi-weekly.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And stay safe and have a good one.
Bye.